It's me. The words appeared on my screen as fast as lightning, and left just as quickly. While very strange, I couldn't be certain that the company wasn't playing a joke on me. They tend to do things like that a lot. I mean, if you heard some of the phone calls I allowed to be played to the new guards, wow. On my fourth night, apparently the guy on the phone died. Yeah, can you believe that? I think that's just stupid. Oh, I'm really sorry. I think I got a bit too carried away. I think the reader should probably know who I am. No? My name is Frederick Zuto. A rather nice name, yes, but people never even ask when I call. Oh, back to the story, yes. That's my name. And with a name like that, you'd only assume me working at Freddy's would be out of my comfort zone. With people comparing me to an animatronic with the same name as me. And while yes, it has happened, I like to call the people who compare us out. They don't know what it's like here at night. And I assure you, Freddy and I are very much different people. I have many people that could call me out the same thing. Anyway, back to the night. The animatronics had all left the stage. Nothing really bad with that, but I could not see them on any of my cameras. Sadly, I must have been in some blind spots. After checking outside my doors, I got up, grabbed a flashlight, and went hunting for them. While at first I could find nothing, for some reason, my body told me to call for them. When I did, they appeared to me almost in an instant. While I saw Mr. Freddy at staring me down, unlike usually, he was not at all hostile. Instead, he was rather docile. Unwillingly, I drew closer to him, and saw a small gleam in his eye. Not knowing what this meant, I was able to call on my brain and tell it to stop moving me forward, which it gladly did. Freddy took a step back when he saw my edginess. My initial thoughts were that he was going to jump at me, but instead he spoke. Not in the usual voice he had during the day, no. Instead, he spoke in a much more serious voice. The work is done. There is no need to be frightened any longer. Might I invite you over to the stage? Not once did I believe the bear, and I slowly drew back into the comfort of my office. Freddy and his gaze locked onto me the whole way there. Unsettling, to say it the least. I arrived in my office and shut both doors. Utterly terrified. Why did he talk to me? Was the bear trying to lead me into a false sense of security? My, how I do hate tricks. I stopped and remembered something. Limited power. I checked my current power. 45%. Then I checked the time. 3 a.m. Okay. I attempted to calm myself. If I play my cards right, I should have enough power to live through this, and maybe even some extra. I took a look out both of the windows and opened the doors. Taking a look down the hall to Pirate Cove, I was able to see this disfigured fox peeking its head out through the curtains. An annoying sight for someone with a child like mine. All of a sudden, I wish I could flee from the building, like a feeling of anguish and weakness came over me. I do not know why. I slid back into the office, placing myself into the seat once more. It wasn't a big or it wasn't a big or comfortable seat, but it was small and just felt cozy, due to lack of a better word. After about an hour, but what I felt what felt like a millennium, I stood up once again and checked the time. Exactly 4 a.m. I thought of what I could do to pass the time for a moment. The animatronics did not seem to be active at all tonight. Then I remembered the phone guy's call. I picked up the phone, put it on loudspeaker, and listened again. I have to say, if there was anyone I could call the most lovely voiced, it would be that guy. His voice is so soothing, you know? Anyway, almost as if I had rehearsed it perfectly, I could say the entirety of the phone call off by heart. Despite only listening to it once, pretty weird, eh? And what's more, I can do an almost perfect imitation of the guy's voice. No, I don't mean to blow my own trumpet or anything, but I think I'm pretty good at imitating. Maybe I should take that up as my next career. When I finish with this franchise, I really don't know what I'm going to do yet. I picked up my monitor and looked through a few cameras. Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica stood in the dining area, having not moved even once or over an hour. At this point, I checked on the fox, and he seemed to have moved backwards in the cycle, rather than forwards. Thinking that they were going to trick me and would rush me soon, I checked my power. 35%. I had plenty. I shut the left door and kept my eye on the right, just in case Freddy decided he wanted to drop in. He didn't, though, thankfully. The whole thing continued to run until 5:30 when Freddy came to my door. Finally. "Why do you not accept?" he asked. Utterly scared, I was able to mutter, "Accept what?" Freddy's face changed from its usually very goofy appearance to a face of pure seriousness. "Why, your death, of course." I was suddenly enraged. Did this bear really think I was too scared to move? Why, I could just close the door right on him if I wanted to. Despite my hostility and slight attempts to bring his head off with the door, Freddy stood there, unamused. "Okay, what do you want, bear?" I shouted, probably a bit louder than I should have. There may have been no one there to hear me. But if these animatronics knew things, I might have looked a bit strange to them, I think. Freddy got a bit more upbeat. "I want you to follow me." While I had many protests to give, I did as the bear said and followed him. Before I knew it, Freddy had taken me backstage. Gah, had I fallen for a sick trick so easily? Freddy already had a suit stood up. For me, I suppose. However, there was already a giant stench coming from it, so I assumed that was a multi-purpose suit or something of the sort. I remember those spring locks. I had to do an entire tutorial on them before the thing happened. But back on topic. Freddy looked at me and told me to take a look inside the suit. My body told me no, but my brain told me yes. I was forced to move towards the suit. Taking a peek inside, I saw an admittedly handsome young man, probably in his early 20s. He was dressed in standard night guard attire, so I guess my suspicions of multi-purpose suits were correct then. I brought up my flashlight and took a quick peek at the guy's name tag, as he was probably the last person I would see before I died. The name tag said, "Hi, my name is Frederick." In shock, I drew back from the body, dragging my flashlight to the ground. No, I can't. This has to be a joke, right? Freddy shook his head and walked right through me. "No, this is far from a joke, Frederick. You were caught by Chica the chicken as a night guard working at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As you have seen your body, I'm guessing multiple memories are flooding back to you now." I grabbed my head and went into my knees. Freddy was right. Memories were flooding back to me, and it was painful. I remembered recording the call for the next guard. I remembered giving the tutorial I gave to the newcomers about the springlock suits. And most of all, I remembered my final moments in a mortal body. The last face I saw was that of an animatronic chicken designed for children. What an embarrassing way to go, I must admit. I drew closer to the suit once again, causing Freddy to raise an eyebrow. "What are you planning to do now?" he asked. "Most go straight to find their business on Earth before they pass on. Others stay here, either the sheer joy of it or because they are too weak to pass. And others still, the last group, let me just state that they like animatronics." I looked at Freddy and took my gaze back to the suit. Now I knew what I was going to do. I had to leave one more call though. I asked Freddy to leave one last message for the night guard from me. He agreed to do it the very next night, and my destiny was set. I was going to enter the suit. The next day, the manager came backstage when he had noticed my car still parked out front. He took a sniff of the air, and there was a lot of concern, yet at the same time, annoyance in his voice. "We have to hire another one," he mumbled. He also said something about having to cut the pay of all the workers, even though to get official permission, we charge them $120 a week, which is a ripoff compared to what I got, really. The manager looked over my suit, and then he saw my body inside. He uttered a sigh and picked up a nearby phone. Before he did, though, I was able to say something. "Don't worry, boss. It's me."